Seriously, this had better work properly this time. How you doing, Internet? I'm Bnuts and welcome back to Star Trek Online. I will be attempting Mine Enemy for the second time in 2 days. It got late the last time I did this. Screwed up at a point where one guy started to run and I immediately lost him because of Terrell's dialogue box popping up and obscuring the view. I have noticed I'm unaccountably strong by comparison to what I've experienced before. I think it's because I'm underleveled. Captain, the Remans were targeting a magnesite mine in this area, but the list we recovered didn't have its exact location. We know we're in the right area, but all the moons in the system are inhabited and our sensors are being affected by the magnesite. We'll need to contact each moon to try to determine which one the Remans were actually targeting. To PAL.
You've stuck your nose in our business for the last time, Starfleet. All ships, attack! Attack!
Big mistake. They'll target the sat, not me. Which is agreeable. But look, I'm barely taking any damage at all. Okay, this moon is the closest.
This moon is private property. No solicitors, beggars, or Starfleet allowed.
At least they didn't attack us. The Orion were less hospitable. Now I can help.
Hello, my good friends. I'm so happy to meet you.
I really don't like him.
You are in the market for some high-quality magnesite?
Sure.
Unfortunately, the large amounts of extremely pure magnesite ore in the core of our little world will interfere with your sensors. For safety reasons, I'm...
Switch it to the Vril because she has medical stuff. Maybe I'll be able to see the guy when he runs. No.
Did you need something? It's a long story. After the destruction of Romulus, I joined a group of colonists looking for a new place to settle. We chose to form a new agrarian community. On Viranat, I'm a biochemist by trade. I specialize in hemocyanin, a division of hematology, working with copper-based blood. On Viranat, I handled a lot of issues related to food compatibility and local... This whole mining facility is nothing but strange. That Ferengi, Madran, rides everyone hard to make a profit. But just when it looks like things will get too bad, he turns around and does something generous.
So she's from Viranat, which again is the place you're from if you decide to do a Romulan.
My life is I last saw him 2 days ago. Madran assigned both of us to work in the upper levels of the mine. There's a group of people down there who treat the mine like it's their own. I don't know why Madran tolerates them, but they make If you go into the mine, watch for the silver spheres.
Got it.
There are creatures in the dark. Devil.
Where the guy slipped me.
On behalf of everyone on this forsaken rock, let me be the first to welcome you to Hfihar. As you can see, we don't have time for pleasantries, and I'm not saying... Unfortunately, I cannot call this mine my own. I'm just a middleman. Out of the goodness of my heart, I help the residents here pass on the products of their hard work to commercial... I don't pay much attention to that. Miners have empty carts, and they return with ones filled with ore. If you... Really? Suit yourself. Just remember, I have an exclusive contract to export magnesite ore from the...
Madran won't answer any questions about why the Remans might be targeting this place for fear of scaring us away from a possible sale. Perhaps if we ask some of the locals about what's going on here, they'll be able to provide more information. Did someone try to shoot at us?
Enemy targets on sensor.
Shame for you.
I'm sorry. I really can't talk at the moment. I have to think. As much as I'd appreciate someone else to lug around this heavy equipment, it's all very...
Yeah, so there are things which you can only do if you have the right job.
What can I say? We exist. Every morning, the first thing I do when I wake is curse that Ferengi's name. The Empire? What Empire? I have heard this, but I have not seen that it is true. Are you going to go to every...
For what it's worth, she's not wrong. Okay. Hey, I moved away.
Enemy targets on sensors.
Oh, come on.
I can't talk to you. I can't talk to anyone. I'm on the road. Look at you. You're almost as scrawny as I am, and I haven't eaten.
It's this guy.
I don't have time to talk to you right now. Not unless you know anything about If I ask Madran for a replacement laser induction coil, he'll charge me 100 I have to fix it or I won't make quota.
Void breaking. Just had to wait for the right one to pop up. Okay, next. And now come from this side.
I can't pay Madran right now.
I'm not after you two. Come on.
You don't hurt me. I don't have the latinum now, but I can... Oh? Madran didn't send you here to break my neck?
I just want some drip parts.
I have a daughter in the radar system. I thought I could contact her to send me some latinum. But Madran won't let me use the subspace array. You see, I owe him some money. And I didn't make my quota last month because I was sick and...
Now I can give him his drill bit.
Thank you. With these parts I can fix this drill and get back to work. I need to make my quota today or Madran will cut my pay again. I already owe him so much latinum, I don't know how I'll ever repay it. He brings in food and supplies that we need, but the prices are so high. I remember the dark days after we lost Romulus. There were no supply shipments for months. I had to listen to my children cry because they were so hungry. I might spend the rest of my life in debt, but I have a life. To answer your question, though, I don't know what makes this mine different from any other mine. The magnesite isn't any different. Maybe there are some veins with less impurities in the lower levels of the mine. I wouldn't know.
You want to go in the mine? Are you really interested in buying any magnesite? Or are you just here to cause trouble? Because if it's the latter, I know someplace you can start a little ruckus. There's a gang that controls the bottom levels of the mine. They won't even let me in there. Previously, I allowed them to keep their little kingdom in exchange.
Now we get to go into the mine. Seriously, I don't like Madran at all. He just takes advantage of people. Everything's business for him, but then again, he is Ferengi. Alright, let's make sure that this goes the way it's supposed to. Let's try diplomacy.
This area is restricted. Only people my friends and I like may enter. And I don't like...
I guess that wasn't really the right answer. I have some help though, so I should be fine this time. Captain, there are a series of pressure plates located in this area. They're low-tech, but the Romulans may have had to resort to outdated security measures because of interference from the magnesite veins in this cavern. Problem is, the magnesite is making our tricorders almost useless. If there's anything on this moon that the Remans would want to eliminate badly enough to use later on weapons, it has to be here. We're going to have to figure out how to use the pressure plates to reveal whatever the Romulans are trying to hide. I expect that we need to activate 2 of them to open the door. I guess that's good enough.
With all due respect, sir,
That's
there is
a
a difference between protecting the Empire from her enemies and provoking
There
them.
is much here you do not understand, Jack.
Oh, Jenny.
Humans need to know their place. As do you. I will not forget your insubordination, Commander. The Hfihar has no place for officers who cannot follow orders. I'll be in the command center.
Colonel, they were civilians. Their blood is on our hands.
Get used to it. There will be more. Speaking of which, why don't you clean out the brig before you become a resident there?
Oh, she does not like that. Hello. Suspect you didn't much like that. On the Klingon Empire. Oh, there's a lot of info here. Chancellor Japan facing increased challenges from members of the High Council loyal to House Martok. Alliances between the House of Jimpok and the House of Duras this week. Situation is highly exploitable. Recommend seek agents on Konos. Many members of discommunicated House of Torg have been absorbed into House Duras. KDF leadership angered by how Council's mandate to work more closely with Klingon intel. Security forces in region massing under new leadership. Seen entering House of Drax, son of Martok's Goran push for representation on how Council rejected. Oh, didn't see you there. Starfleet. Captured Hfihar and ESD. Captain Silu has applied for transfer to the front lines of Klingon conflict. Admiral Quinn under medical care for heart condition intercepted Starfleet Medical, indicate fully retrievable and not a suitable target for exploitation. 7th Fleet entered neutral zone as part of a routine series of exercises. Franklin Drake heading extended operation in Edernani. Command considered new tactics in conflicts with True Way. Intel concerned with rise in war profiteering by independent Ferengi and Doctarians. On True Way. And council petitions to fund the Korean city infrastructure. 47 injured in bombing of the University of Kulat. True Way claims responsibility. Topic Council passes bill allowing Cardassian government to seize assets of persons convicted of terrorist activity. Council Marie Makanda resigns. Starfleet sending advisors to Cardassia Prime to advise government on security issues. Council Vela introduces resolution calling for Cardassia to apply for Federation membership. Bill stalls. Ministry of Trade sends agreements with Ferengi to market Cardassian-made transport vessels and feeder banks. Surprised they didn't try to run away. Borg. Resistance is futile. Janik is fighting with Akiv again. Akiv takes shuttle and leaves base for 2 days. Long-range sensors mark his progress in neutral zone. 6 miners held for questioning. Cheif Medical Officer reports 2 cases of Levodian flu. 6 encrypted messages sent from Colonel Akiv's console to unknown recipient. Recommend that transmissions be investigated further. Romulan Empire. Increased power use in royal palace and lower levels may be in use. Senator Shemek is accepting bribes in exchange for slowing progress on trade agreements. Hargan representatives meet with Sela. Reman representative removed from Senate chamber. Opposition leader Titan assassinated. 3 unification proponents arrested. Agents for Sela meet with True Grey leaders near Badlands. Oh, bad news all around. Tardella? Republic space. Archaeological evidence indicates that a recent excavation has revealed an unexpected high-value find. That would be an Iconian gateway. Attempts to capture colonists of putative Movrihan Reading resistance from mixed forces. Federation Starbase 234 engaging in defensive training exercise. Long-range social destabilization of cultural underway. Tholian activity correlated with temporal enemies near Azure. Cloaked assets monitoring construction of listening posts and Jurat system.
I almost feel sorry for you, but I have my own neck to worry about. I'll be joining you in there soon enough. If Akiv has his way, we all will.
So why don't you do something about it? Instead of being a bystander.
Enough! I surrender. I value my life more than the Tal Shiar's secrets. I'll tell you anything you want to know. First, you must tell me why you are here, and what you want.
Why does the Reman Resistance want to destroy?
Remans know about this base? Impossible! Only the leadership of the Tal Shiar know we're here. The Empress herself couldn't find us. I don't believe you, but it makes no difference. This is not a military installation. Are you sure you want to end things like...
Well, that was fun. It blocks everything. Should be suitable for expansion. There were several spherical orbs in it. We have yet to determine the nature of these. Janet thinks they are pretty. She kept one in her quarters. I've asked permission to study orbs. They remind me of Federation report ones. I can't remember the details, but it was something about the Janus system. When Kremen is dead, Hfihar ordered him to explore the tunnels. We found organic remains, and it's fully discharged. The disruptor was nearby. It looked like he had been melted. I think we should wall off this section of the mine and not disturb the creature down here. 6 people have already died. 5 were miners and therefore expendable, but Kremen showed promise. I know that in time he would have been a fine officer. I've asked Colonel Hfihar to request reinforcements. If he's determined to kill people exploring the mine, let him kill recruits. Oh, there are the silver balls. There's a Horta. No kill, no kill. Didn't even notice the balls in this room. Kill the medic first. I tried to roll, but it did not work in time. Oh well. And this way. Force field.
How did you find this place? What else?
We followed the breadcrumbs.
You won't be revealing anything to your superiors. It's disappointing I cannot give you a proper interrogation. But I have much to do and little time. The self-destruct sequence has begun. This base will be your tomb.
No, it won't. Here we go. Now it wants us to escape. Really? Confront Madran.
My mind! What have you done to my mind?
Sasha.
Hfihar? I'm shocked. I had no idea. I certainly wouldn't have sent you down there if you... Hey, you didn't happen to find anything valuable.
Stop with the lies. I know you knew who and what was down there.
And what's it to you? This is a rough area of the quadrant, you know, and they're good neighbors. If you're not easily embarrassed, their cameras and listening devices are everywhere. I haven't had a single problem with Orions or Herodians since they moved in. And it doesn't hurt that I acquired the odd bit of information here and there. I'm a businessman, and information is big business.
Do you know anything about what they recently discovered?
Unfortunately, no. I'll admit, I was trying to find out, but their systems were locked down tight. I'm sure whatever it was had to be big news. Everyone was on edge. Janik and Hakeem were barely speaking, and I once heard Hakeem mumbling something about orders. Someone's been pulling his strings, but I don't know who.
Oh, so you know who they were by name.
Take security very seriously. If you manage to pull any files from their system, you can expect them to be heavily encoded. Trust me on that. I speak from experience. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go talk 100 Romulans into digging a new mine to replace the one you destroyed. My profit margin for this month is ruined.
Starship. So, about the winter event consoles and stuff, unless you plan on specializing in Breen things, in making a Breen officer of some sort, it's not really a point to get anything. You can get costumes. Decipher Hfihar. Open further. On space. Emperor Kales has been spotted in Breen space. Chancellor Jimpok has a potential advisory in Jarod. The House of Torg was brought before the High Council for commendation by the House of Martok. The Forecast 3 Battle Tournament has a new champion. Analyze the structure. Results. Inaccuracy found. The Worst Dog lost its seat on the council after it was revealed the House leaders collaborated with the Romulans to attack the House of Martok. Encrypted using passkey. The reference other files uploaded. Thorough. Federation Embassy established on Hfihar Prime. Federation Council extends aid to Cardassia Prime and agrees to continue defense plan. Klingon Federation peace talk disrupted on Regulus 4. Welcome Ambassador Sokoth retires to Monastery in Pajem. Well, we know a little bit something about that. Cross reference. Ambassador Sokoth was revealed to be an undying infiltrator after a Starfleet vessel transported him to the Monastery Jimpok. Precedence. Chain of command for Hfihar listening post Hephaestus on Hfihar. Commanding officer Colonel Hakeem. ID this. Executive officer Commander Janik. ID this. Medical officer Lieutenant Livok. This. Chief engineering officer Taurus. Partial number sequence found in officer ID numbers. Some of the previous two follows reference another. Referendum. Assuming votes to give Ambassador power to override rulings of Imperial Courts. Ambassador Jurok Sandoria. Reman rebels attack transports in area. Rebel Synod ratifies new tax on dilithium. Starfleet has no record. Maybe Gomos? Secret Reman base detected in the DARA system. Listing Post FS has detected an increase in subspace communications in ships traveling to and from the DARA system. Analysis of the communications in ship traffic reveals patterns of association normally employed by Reman forces. Tal Shiar forces then intercepted a ship leaving the DARA system and captured 47 Reman civilians. The passengers and crew were summarily executed under orders of Colonel Hfihar, with the captain and first officer were preserved for questioning. Under integration, the captain of the Reman vessel provided a security key that could be used to decipher encrypted communications sent to their system. The decrypted message proved that there is a base in the area of space being used by the Reman Resistance. Recommendation: Tal Shiar ship should be sent to the DARA system immediately to capture this base and its inhabitants. He's planning an attack on a Reman base. We need to get this information to Admiral Tanay at Starbase 39 Sierra immediately. This is our ship after all.
The Tal Shiar records you recovered show that Hfihar and his forces have been targeting the Remans for months. Obasek and his followers have been driven from their homes, had their ships destroyed, and their loved ones killed or imprisoned. Some might say that Obasek's campaign against the Tal Shiar is just. However, Obasek was planning on using Faileron weapons in the Hfihar system, which would have killed hundreds of innocent civilians as well as the Tal Shiar cell there. This is the problem with revenge. Violence and fury only create more pain and suffering. We know from the information you recovered from the Hfihar system that the Tal Shiar are planning to attack a Reman settlement in the DARA system. We have an opportunity to reach the settlement first. This may be a completely internal matter, and if so, the Prime Directive will come into play. We will not be able to interfere, but if there is an outside influence directing these matters, we must know what it is. Our encounters with the Undine and the Changelings have proven that there are entities attempting to move the powers of the Quadrant like pieces in a cow-toe game. It is essential to protecting the Federation to see these attempts for what they are and counter them. I want you to go to the DARA system and learn more about the Reman uprising. The Remans will have hidden their base, so you may have to use subterfuge to find it. One more thing. I realize this is a dangerous situation and that you may be drawn into conflict, but do not antagonize the Remans or the Romulans if you can avoid doing so. We are already at war with the Klingon Empire. I would prefer to avoid another extended conflict.
Well, if it's the RIC, I can't promise anything. So I don't know whether or not I covered this anywhere else. But if you're given a permission to take anything out or put anything in, it will tell you there. So it does there for there. I have no permission there. I have one here. Even if you had any doubt, click permissions. And then whichever is your rank. I'm not even sure what my rank is. You want to find out what you are. On fleet. Click on roster. And there it is right there. So that about does it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, found it useful, informative, and entertaining. You can like, comment below, subscribe, and ring the bell. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.